Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Anything Goes. My name's Andrew Deeker, and this is my first Zoom interview of 2025. And kicking it off with someone across the pond in Australia, Matty Floyd. How are you, my brother?
Good brother, how you going, man?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Great to reach out to you. Great to have you on the channel. And I just want to go back to the beginning because first and foremost, everyone sees a fighter's name. Everyone sees the headline news. But for the fans that don't know you, especially the UK media, and like you were saying, the Australian media, the Canadian, American media, worldwide media, tell us who Matty Floyd is.
Matty Floyd is today is just fuck, I don't even know who I am. Nah, Matty Floyd is a fighter. Obviously, I fight. That's all I do is fight, man. I I run, I own a gym. I have a few places. I'm a pretty good businessman. That's why I'm able to, like, this stuff I do with the kids. The kids I take off the street and that I do all myself. You would never get help from the government or anything for stuff like that. You have to do it yourself. That's why I do it. That's why I'm probably the only person that does it. And yeah, yeah, pretty much. I have the gym so I can. It's like a home base for them boys and that, or somewhere for them. If they get off track and that, they can come back to on that, and yeah, and then obviously I fight as well. I've dedicated my life to boxing and trying to take as many of these boys off the street as I can.
Love to hear that, and I thank you for doing that. So let's talk about your upbringing. For fans that don't know, where did you grow up, and do you have a tight knit family? How was family situation growing up?
No, I had I had like a weird upbringing, man. I lived in several different places. I had some good homes and some bad homes. I had my mum, she loved me, and she was just pretty sick, man. But she would she definitely loved me and wanted to look after me. But she was just always sick, man. Always in hospital. Um, so yeah, I stayed in plenty of different areas, man. In Perth and Western Australia. I went backwards and forwards to Adelaide as well, which is like another state. Like, so for you, that'd be like another country because it's like a 3-4 hour flight. Um, but yeah, oh boy, I stayed in plenty of houses, bro. Like at least 20, 30 houses, man, for sure.
And talk about it there. And everyone says, what do you want to be when you grow up? Was it someone in a family? Was it growing up and watching someone? Where did the desire come from to become a professional boxer? And obviously, your amateur career as well, which we'll get onto in a minute. But where did the desire come from to become a boxer?
The fighting didn't start till late, till I was 12, 13. I didn't start fighting properly, or training properly. Sorry, till I was about 16 or so. My first love was basketball. I actually wanted to be a basketball player. Um, the fighter person that I became, I created that overnight, bro. After everything that happened as a child, when I was living in like the bad homes and that, because I was such a scared kid, man. I was scared of everything. Um, I I created like this person that wasn't scared of anything and wanted to fight everyone and all that. So the fighting started like as a teenager, but I didn't want to be a professional fighter. Probably until like I was maybe like 16 or 17 or something like that.
And let's talk about it there. Who did you idolize growing up, or was it just the way you were brought up in the community you were brought up in and the way you had to be to survive?
Who did I idolize? Like, as in like famous
Yeah,
person?
what made you want to go into sport? And was it because obviously your upbringing, the way you grew up, or was it someone you watched on TV or on YouTube or
Oh no, I was just a natural athlete. I was always a good athlete. Oh, actually, I was like an average athlete, and then when I became about 12, my body just changed overnight, and I was always a definitely I was the best at like anything like running or anything in high school. I was just a very good athlete. I loved Kobe Bryant. Um, I liked a few fighters, but I wasn't fight training yet. I probably as a teenager, um, it would have been Mike Tyson. Um, Back then, yeah. And
and
but yeah,
oh yeah, sorry, my bad. And let's talk about it there. Growing up, Do you support an NBA team or do you just idolize and love the sport?
Yeah, Lakers, man.
Lakers. I've got a keychain. This is the best one I have right now, but I do have a Lakers keychain downstairs, and I also have a LeBron jersey in there. But as I was saying, for me, it's the Lakers, and it's always been the Lakers. But the only team that I kind of have a soft spot for is the Knicks because of Joey from Friends. You gotta not love Joey, but yeah. Apart from that, we'll talk about it there. So, what was your amateur career, and how many amateur fights did you have?
I didn't have an amateur career. I had like a few like you get like I entered a few tournaments when I was younger. Like I had a few kickboxing fights, and I did like back then I like you could it was like jiu-jitsu on the mats. You could enter these competitions like at rec centers here and things like that. This is before like we didn't have a cage back then and stuff like that. So and then before I went professional in boxing, I had an expedition fight.
And how did you find it?
Which one? The first expedition fight?
Yeah.
I thought I'd be all right because of when I was younger and I trained so much. So in my twenties, I was in prison most of my twenties, man. So I did a lot of sparring and fight. Not I didn't get into fights in prison. I maybe got into one or two, but we were fighting all the time, pretty much bare knuckled because the gloves we were using were very like there was nothing on them. They'd break straight away. So it was pretty much like that. And then when I got out. I was sparring at a pretty high level straight away, and I thought I'd be fine. But it was lucky I had the expedition fight because I wanted to go professional straight away because of my earlier experience in Muay Thai and mixed MMA and that and everything else. I thought I'd be fine, and then obviously it was good I had that expedition fight because I definitely had to get that ring all that stuff out of me, and I was fine by the time I had my first professional fight.
And how old are you when you made your debut? Your pro debut?
Um, Fuck, I would have been like 31 or something, maybe 30, 31.
Uh, and talk about the nerves. Did you have any nerves, or was it like you've done it so long? Did anything change from the exhibitions and the Muay Thai to the pro scene, or you just game as always?
Nah, so if you ask me every single time, it's the same thing with me. If you ask me a week, 2 weeks, a month before the fight, it's like, nah, don't give a fuck. I'll fight anyone. It's fine, and I genuinely believe that. I'm genuinely like that. And then maybe like a night before, or even on the day of the fight, I start getting like the worst nerves you could possibly get, but it's never a fear of being hurt or anything. It's just that massive fear of losing. I feel like I've got the world against me because I come from that criminal world. From that, you feel like you haven't got much love. You feel like it's all hate. Like usually boxers or footy players or whatever, they normally have like the community behind them. They have like a family or a dad, or they have something behind them. I've never had anyone or anything behind me, man. So when I've always just backed myself and pushed myself. So every time and I've got the boys under me that I've taken, but I'm like their father, So it's like I don't really feel like they're behind me, obviously, because I'm the one looking after them. So I've never felt that. So I feel like if I lose each time, I feel like I've got everything to lose. Everyone's always like, you've got nothing to prove to anyone else but yourself, blah blah blah. But I feel like I've just got the world against me, So, and that's for many reasons. I feel that way. So on the day, I get like a almost sick feeling. Like honestly, I'd rather be shot in the head dead in the ring than fucking lose. That's honestly how I feel. So I get nervous about that, and it's more about the world being feeling like the world's against me. But if you ask me any other day of the year, I never give a fuck. It's like yeah, bring it on. I'll fight anyone.
It's like as me, you've got pressure, you've got the big boys, you've got the world against you, you've got everyone that everyone loves, and it feels like you're treated not differently, but like you said, you don't have a community following, you don't have a loyal backing, you're not from like, let's say you've got the whole soccer team behind you, football, but you don't have a whole football team behind you, you don't have a whole community behind you, you don't have your local people, let's say college or your workplace. So it feel like you've got even more pressure to not only provide for your family, provide for yourself, but to show the world that you can thrive under pressure and doubt me now, but look where you are. And it's like that because when you stop, people doubt you. People don't want to be near you. They think, nah, what's this guy? But then you go on to your first title fight, you go on to your first major platform, then everyone wants to jump on a bandwagon. Does it feel like there's immense pressure, or like I said, every time you do it, you're just doing it for yourself?
I should. The right answer is to tell you that every time I do it for myself. But it's that's what you're supposed to say. That's what people tell you to say. You're not doing this for anyone. You need to prove. You don't need to prove to anyone but yourself. That's the psychological answer. That's if you speak to any uh, coach or trainer or role model or leader or whatever. That's what they're supposed to say. But for me, it's not the truthful answer. I feel like there is a lot of pressure from everyone else. For me, I always feel like I've got everything on my shot. But I try to trick myself into thinking that I'm only doing it for that reason. But I'll give you an example like this Tommy Fury fight. The number one reason should be I'm doing it for myself, but really the number one reason that I'm doing it is because I want to show the kids, the teenagers, the me's, the anyone, whether you've been in prison or you just had a fucked life, whatever, that this can be done. Because we all know about the Rocky Balboa movies and that, but I don't believe I've never heard of a real life story on the streets or whatever where it's actually been given. So it's like it's more to show them, And then the number two reason, the selfish reason for me is I know that Tommy's the gateway that if I fight Tommy Fury's name, I should be able to fight anyone after that, and I want to fight the best in the world, which is what I'll be doing next. So that was my selfish reasons, but the number one reason is for other people, even though it should be for myself.
And just before we go on to that, because I take a nice and long, loads of people would like to dive into the questions straight away, but I've like the old Errol Hawani, Joe Rogan, Stephen Bartlett style, where you like to delve in and get to know the fighter. So before we move on to the Tommy Fury fight, which is what we're all here about today, talk about your appropriate, what's your most notable achievement, and talk about your title fights.
Sorry, what did you say before that? Before the title fight?
So, talk about your pro career. What's your most
Okay, yeah.
notable fight? What's your favorite moment in the pro scene so far? And talk about the title fights.
I've only probably had like one fight where I was actually happy, you could see I was happy. I actually get in trouble with, the team around me. They always say, mate, when you win, you need to jump around and this and that. It's really strange. After each of my fights, I get really depressed, and I won all my fights, and I get real depressed and down, and I actually get sick. Like I get like a fucking cold. It's weird, and I just get real down. And I've never really celebrated or cheered, except for one fight when my kids were there. I was just fucking. It's the first time I was jumping around. I was happy. But every other fight, I'm just. It's real weird, man. I'm fucking. I feel like I should be further on in life and in my career and this and that because I should be. I know what level I'm at and the sort of things I can do. Um, so yeah, I'm not sure if it's that or other things, but yeah, it's a weird one. I've won a few titles, and I don't feel like I've ever felt like the satisfaction yet that you put but hopefully I'll get it once I beat Tommy Fury.
Once you do. And let's talk about that because I've been a huge advocate. I've always been a fan of everyone. A lot of people, a lot of UK media, a lot of other fans in the UK, they loved him. And you know what? When he fought Jake Paul, everyone says, before then, they're, pardon my French, but they're going against him. I was going to say shitting on him, but you know what I mean. People are going against him. People are doubting him. Then he fights Jake Paul. It's more about someone beating someone else than your own success. So, for example, like I say, I'm a West Ham fan. The majority of our fans, or even Arsenal fans, would rather have Tottenham or Spurs lose a game than their own team win a game half the time. But it's like that. I'll say it here. Tommy's a great guy. He done it the hard way. People don't value him. They see him as a Love Island star. When you come from that, he was a pro boxer before then, an amateur. But when you come from that social media reality, it's hard to escape it because that's what people judge you on and base you on. And of course, being the younger brother of Tyson, it's like you're never on. You're always in his shadow, like Conor Ben, Chris Eubank, with their fathers as well. So we talk about it there. Um, when did you first set your eyes on Tommy Fury, and how long have you been watching him for?
Well, see, I'm the opposite of him. Obviously, I've got no, no father, no name, no anything. Like everything's, self done. So I'm the complete opposite of all them people and things that you've done. My eyes on him was it got brought up a couple of years ago. Um, I'm not a hater at all, man. I never hate on anyone, man. I was taught at a young age not to be jealous of anyone. I always feel like people that sit there talking shit about people or people that aren't doing well. You know, no one ever talks shit about anyone doing less better than them. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I always think, you know, when people talk shit about people, the 4 or 5 people around there agreeing and listening and talking shit with them, they're all small-minded people. So I'm definitely not a real jealous person. I get real happy when I see people do well, and I actually try and work it out, like what they're doing right. You know, I don't get jealous at all. So I I I don't know why, man. I'm not like, you know, them hippies, like, I just know I was destined for this shit, blah, blah, blah. I'm not like that at all either in any way. But I've just always known I'm going to fight him, bro, for 2 years. It got brought up 2 years ago. I can't remember. I've been trying to work it out. I've been speaking to the boys and been like, fuck, remember it got brought up? What was that about? Um, there was even money fucking mentioned, talk, this, that. And I don't think he was like, he definitely wasn't as big a name as he was now that he was then. I can't remember. But anyway, ever since then, I've, um, I've thought about it, you know, here and there, and I've always just known I'm going to fight him. And when it started in Thailand, I met a few boys from England there. There's a lot of boys, mostly they're boys from England over there in the boxing scene, and I became real close with them. And a couple of them are gypsies, and friends with like very respected, really nice guys over there, man. Who I've started talking to, they like me because the guy, the English blokes in Thailand, as soon as they meet me, they're like, "Fuck, bro, our mates in England will fucking love you, bro." Blah blah, you know. And then I got friendly with them, and it just started, bro. And it was just talk, and because it's in the past, bro, when I fought people, it's like oh, I'll fight them, and then the next day I'm on the plane and I'm fight. You know, a few weeks ago there was a big show here. Eddie Hearn was on the show, doing the show with Mick, the guy that's my manager now, Mick Francis, and they literally, I just got back from Turkey. I just had a fight 2 weeks earlier. I was overweight and this and that, and Eddie and him were doing a big show, Jai Thai show, and this like one of the semi-main events pulled out. Austin Accuso from Letty Letty, who's like a well-respected, like good fighter. Like he's been, you know, he's fucking, he's a very good fighter. And they rang me a day before the fight and said, Austin's pulled out. I'm like, I'll fucking do it, you know. And then not Mick Francis, but his mate that okay, you still there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sorry, man, it's cut out for me. Um,
No, I'm still here.
All right. His mate that he's like site, like his worker, like his other manager, rang me and he's like, well, I was like, yeah, fucking oath, why not, bro? He's like, yeah, what do you got to lose? I'm like, what do you mean, what do I got to lose, bro? I'm a 15-0 fucking WBC Asian champion, fucking WBO world champion. Not that that's as significant, obviously, but fucking, I'm like, I'm a 15-0 fighter, man. I've got everything to lose, but I'll still fucking come. And I think Mick Francis he's known me for a bit now, fought in a few of the shows. He knows I'm a real stubborn cunt. I tried everything on my own. I think he must have felt sorry for me. He didn't want me to get fucked over in general, let alone here. So he got involved, man, a few weeks ago, and he's caught wind of it, and he's like, listen, Matty, I know Fury's fucking manager. I just got off the phone of fucking I can't remember, like maybe he's one of them. He knows the trainer, he knows Spencer, he knows fucking he named them, he knows them all, and obviously he does. Like he's not someone that fucks around. And he's like, you can keep going backwards and forwards with it, you know, forever and not know and this and that, but I can just sort this out for you, all right? And then yeah, then since then, like I've had a few people call me out, and then there was talk with a few Misfits fighters. A few Misfits fighters have messaged me. There was talk with about Darren too and that. And I spoke to Mick, and he's like, "Mate, you want to fucking fight Tommy Fury in a fight, Idris or this, you know, and this and that." And I said, "Well, obviously, yeah, I want to fight Tommy Fury." And he's like, "Mate, just fucking, I've sorted it, mate. You're fighting Tommy Fury. Just fucking stop fucking offering every cunt out. Just chill the fuck out." I'm like, "Yeah, but you told me to be me, bro. You know what I mean?" Like, and he's like, "Bro," and I'm like, "Yeah." Because like I asked him like, what do I when I talk to you, what do I say? He's like, bro, normally I'll tell the boys what to say, but all I need from you is just fucking be you, bro, and you're gonna be all right. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
they know what I'm like, so fucking yeah.
And let's talk about it there. What do you want out of this fight? Do you want it in a pro scene, or
Yeah,
do you want it in a pro scene? You
well,
don't
we're
want it on
both pro. Well,
misfits.
it has to be a pro fight, man. I'm not a pro fighter. I'm a
Yeah,
proper fight. That's the whole point of him fighting me, bro. He's finally fighting a proper fighter. Not that Jake Paul's not a fucking proper fighter because he is,
yeah,
but I'm a proper professional fighter. I'm the best that he's ever gonna fight.
yeah.
And and he needs to fight me. It has to be a professional fight. Someone said that to me. I didn't even know that was fucking could be a thing, let alone a question, let alone a fucking
Yeah, of course.
anything, you know. But it
Because
has
it,
to be.
it should be.
Well, he's a
Uh,
10-0 pro, and I'm a 15-0 pro.
yeah,
I know it
it's
says I'm a
just because
fifteen
the
and one.
last two fights he's had. Sorry to cut you off, but it's the last two fights he's had that people think, oh yeah, miss it, sis. But it's like how Logan and Jake were saying to McGregor, or like he was saying, you want to do side quests. I'm not being disrespectful, but obviously he's hopped onto their platform now, returning to professional boxing. He's always been a professional fighter, and he's always labeled himself as that. And before we go on to yourself, obviously, do you think this could be an 8 round, 10 round, 12 round? Do you think this could be for an international title or something big on the line?
I'll do any. I'll do 8, 10, or 12. It doesn't. I just did two 12-round fights, bro. It doesn't matter what it
Mm,
is. I'll do any of them, bro. I'll do it on a day's notice, bro. A 12-round fight.
nice. And what do you make of his career so far? Obviously, he's fought on Queensbury cards. He's fought on the undercard at Wembley when his brother sold it out. He also, obviously, he fought Anthony Taylor, who Darren Till ended up fighting, and we see what Darren Till did there. Respect to Anthony Taylor. Then the Jake Paul fight and the KSI fight. What do you make of it?
Of Tommy's fights with them.
Yeah.
Um. Oh man, they're all like yeah. Some of them were, it's a hard one. The Jake Paul one, I mean, fuck. Like people ask me a lot about Jake Paul and him and that. And I always say, man, you put millions of dollars into any above average athlete or more, and I mean Jake's been training for 5 or 6 years, and you put millions of dollars into that. Imagine the fucking the food he's getting, the training, the coaches, the fucking everything, bro. You're gonna get a top 100 fighter if you do that with any man that's an above average, or more. And so I put Jake in the category of a top 100, top 50 fighter, and he can probably do more. And I do the same with Tommy, and Tommy's obviously slightly better. Um, that's the easy way of answering that. So it's not like he's fought. I think it's the same with KSI. And that I think these guys have put millions of dollars into and they've put their heads down and just done nothing but train. They don't have to work. They don't have to go through the shit that other fighters, myself, have to go through. I'm lucky, to be able to do the things I get to do. I was, what if anything, prison was good for me there because all I did was train for fucking 10 hours a day every day. But yeah, you got these guys with heaps of money, obviously training, and they've got athletic ability. They've been born with fucking athletic genes. Um, you know. So yeah, they're not. To answer the question, you're saying how do you think of the fight? What I'm trying to say is I don't think any of the fighters were bums that he fought. A couple were, but not the ones that were the Jake Pauls and that.
Hmm.
And yeah, and I think Tommy he's a good fighter, man. He's a top fucking 100, top 50 fighter, man. I don't think he's a top 10 fighter. I think I'll beat people in the top 10.
Hmm.
But fucking yeah, that's where he's at, man. He's not a bum like everyone says and thinks or disrespects or whatever. He's a fury as well, man. He's got a lot of people behind him and stuff. He's not. He's definitely not his brother, but he's still a fucking. He's gonna have that natural athletic ability, and he's got the. Obviously you can see in him, and he's got plenty of fucking support behind him. That's for sure. If he wants
Yeah.
it, so fucking yeah, he's no fucking bum. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's got the whole social media presence. He's got obviously the name. He's got his own, and he's got everyone gathering behind him. Where do you want this fight to take place? Do you want it to happen in your backyard, his backyard, or where do you want it?
Nah, his backyard, man. I want it in his backyard. I fucking definitely want it in his backyard. I thrive. I hope he's got 100,000 people there cheering for him.
Yeah,
If I had 100,000 people cheering for me, it'd feel weird, bro. It just wouldn't be. It wouldn't be a story. Any. Like it wouldn't be any. What's the word? Proof of how my life's been, bro. You know what I mean? It
yeah.
has to be in his backyard, and the more people there cheering from the more I'll thrive, bro.
Like a real Creed or Rocky story.
Yeah, probably. You know what? I feel like I know I keep quoting Rocky, man, but it's just fucking the truth, man. Like
Mm,
it is what it is, man. And I've been quoting Rocky in a few interviews and but because it's just so fucking true, man. Like you've never. The only thing I can think of like a story is like Bernard Hopkins maybe where he was in prison. I don't even know what for. I don't know the story there. I just know he was in prison, got out, became world champion at 48. I don't think anyone has actually been, like a world champion's offered out some, like in Rocky, like the Rocky story, where Paulie Creed gave some guy a shot, bro, some random guy in America a shot. I don't think that's happened in this. I don't know any world champion or famous or big millionaire boxer that's gone, I'll fight this guy over here, and I'm not even fucking I know, and I just feel like I've got a fucking legit story, man. I'm a 15-0 fighter, bro. And I've won a few titles as well, and I still have to fucking beg for a chance.
And before we end off on you, what did you make of him pulling out against Darren Till? Because I want to say it here, and we'll speak the truth, because that's what we're about. So when KSI was training, obviously we saw what happened against Joe Fournier. He won, but it turned into a no contest with an elbow. Then Tommy said, "When I'm gonna fight KSI, I'm training with elbows." But then Darren Till says, "I'm gonna kick your head in, try use MMA moves." Darren Till obviously said online that that was just said to sell the fight, promote the fight. Do you think that's the main reason that he pulled out? Because obviously the people behind know the truth, but Darren said that they were talking about sparring and they heard rumors, and then that's why they pulled out. Firstly, why do you think he pulled out? I know discredit to him, but how do you think a fight against him and Darren Till would have gone down?
I think Tommy. I mean, he's tough, man. Darren, he would have come forward. It would have been tough for Tommy, but I think Tommy should have won. Um, yeah, I think Tommy should have won. And I don't know about the pulling out, man. I mean, I think he's pulled out his last three fights, hasn't he, or something? So obviously that's a concern for myself. Um, but I mean, I'm sure they've got plans for me if he pulls out or something. But I'm not. People have asked me about my worry he's going to pull out. Not really, bro. I'm just want to get the fight and I'll get ready for the fight. I'm not really concerned about that. I don't know why. There could be a million reasons, man. No one knows what happens behind the scenes. Um, I'm sure fucking he's probably the only person that knows, man. I didn't even really look into that much. I didn't really know too much. I just saw him pull out. That was about it. I don't know about all the other stuff.
Let's talk about here. And the question the fans are waiting for: how does Matty Floyd beat Tommy Fury, and how do you win? For fans that don't know, describe your fight style. Is it going to be like a Leeward Conlan fight where it's going to go all 12 rounds and someone gets knocked out during in the last one? Is it going to be like Creed, like Rocky, where he's dominating and you get a body shot knockdown? It's going to be a fight full of knockdowns and it finishes late on? Or do you see an early knockout? How do you beat Tommy Fury, and what do you do better than him? And what do you have in your arsenal to win the fight?
I think I'm gonna. I've been telling everyone I think I'm gonna beat him a lot earlier than what people think. I'm relentless, man. I'm very awkward. I'm very strong. I'm very powerful. I won 10 fights by knockout. I know that's not. Some people do 15 out of 15, but I've had a broken hand for my last three fights. I've just got it fixed. Um, a couple of weeks ago. Will be fully like better in the next few weeks. I had that hand broken for the last three fights. I still knocked out one bloke in the first round with my left hand. Um, the two fights against Cimarron Cole, that bloke's Asia's highly recognised as Asia's greatest fighter of all time. He's the WBC world champion twice. He's had 500 fights, so he's had 100 professional boxing fights, and he's had 400 other bare knuckled fights, and Cimarron Cole. So yeah, the two-time. Uh, yeah, so he's had 500 fights, 100 professional boxing fights, 400 bare knuckled, Muay Thai, whatever, or you can name it. He's never been dropped in sparring, fights, anything in his whole life ever. So he's
Mhm.
never ever been dropped. And I didn't have my right hand either. So I think there was a few times even he said to um, and I shouldn't even say this 'cause I don't want Tommy to see this, but he's told people that I was by far the strongest and the hardest hit he's ever had. The reason I didn't have knockouts early on is because I hadn't fought in years, but I hadn't had an amateur career. There were only like a few 4 rounder fights, and I was smothering all my own work, and I just wasn't landing I wasn't getting off the shots I wanted because I was smothering. I was I wasn't like in control, and then I got in control again, and then I started knocking everyone out. Um, but yeah, like I probably don't want Tommy to see that, man. I want Tommy to watch me and go, "Fuck, he looks easy," and so that way he doesn't walk away from this fight, man. And I think their team will look at me because I'm so awkward, bro. I train myself in a prison cell, bro, for hours every day. So I taught myself bad habits, but I mastered them bad habits. and that's worked in my favor. Anyone I spar, world champions, the best in the world, they all look at me and go, "Fuck!" They think it's gonna be easy sparring. They all fucking say it was the hardest sparring they ever had. Mark my words. Um, you can ask, even Mick, bro, um, they all say it. So, I've mastered the awkwardness, bro, almost, and I come forward relentlessly, and I'm strong. So, it fucks boxers up, bro. Traditional boxers don't know what the fuck to do, and I just train all the time, bro. And I've got that gas tank, bro. I'll go 50 rounds, so I'll just keep coming relentlessly. And yeah, I think I hope they watch me, and I hope they go, fuck yeah, it's gonna be easy down the office. I think I'm the perfect fight for him. He needs a fight, a proper pure fighter. I'm a pure fighter. I'm a 15-0 fighter. I know it says 15-1, but that one has been reviewed and it got called no contest. And his box rec need to fix it now because it's been reviewed. It was no I won every round of that fight. I got fucking robbed in Thailand by the same guy, Simran Cole. He's a legend in Asia, and his family's on the commission, and they're all Thai judges. It was his fucking family that were judging the fight. So I'm full of controversy. My life's controversy. I went in his backyard, fought in his backyard in front of thousands of his people. And I did that, everyone told me not to, and I still did it. The same as this Tommy Fury fight. I'm going to go to his backyard and I'll fight him in front of 100,000 people. And I hope they all think I'm fucking shit and this and that. And that's great for me, bro, because then he will 100% rock up on the night. And he should, bro. He should. He needs to fight a real fighter. And they need to give a guy a shot, bro. That Fury flame's fucking legendary. The Fury name, sorry, is a legendary name, legendary family. And I love and respect their family, and I think it'll be great, man, for them. Like they're I'm not sure who it was. Is it one of their family members? Was in prison or got into trouble or something, and you can see like their families obviously like they've got we've all got background there and that, and they should give someone like me a fucking chance and a crack, bro. I'm big on obviously I grew up with fucking pedophiles, man, so. I've had to have counselling and things myself, bro. I'll probably need it today. I'm still forever fucked up from what happened to me as a child. And Tyson Fury's massive on mental health, bro. And mental health's big in UK, bro. I haven't talked much on that, bro, but fucking because it's a bit harder for me. But you'd think fucking, if they looked at that, bro, you'd think they'd fuck, bro, this guy deserves a crack, man, after everything he's been through. Tyson is big on mental health. I'm big on mental health, I fucking so yeah.
Just because I've got it here, it's proper old one, I think 7 years ago, but I've got it here as well. So yeah, and
That's it.
let's talk about that. There, you said when you went to Asia. Talk about it here. What do you do? Because we know the stereotype, and everyone says when you go to someone's homeland and you're the away fighter, you got to win by knockout. You can't win on points. But what do you ensure, regardless if it's a finish, regardless if it's a points, or do you just envision a finish? Because do you envision that if even if you beat him over 7, 8 rounds, let's say for example it's a 10 rounder or a 12 rounder, but they'll still give it a draw, or they'll give it his side, or do you envision that you've got to stop him and that's the only way you stop him
No,
to win
I
the
think
fight?
I think if I fight him on a big show, I think if you fight someone on a big show, I think it's going to be a bit more fair. You're going to have proper judges and referees. I think
Yeah.
it's like they should, and on that level, you think these are the best in the world. You think the crowd shouldn't be able to sway him as much. You can't help it, man. A crowd sways you. I get that, but I mean, it's going to be a bit different to Thailand. I thought I was going to knock out Simran Cole. I definitely thought that even with my broken hand because I'd had eight, I think, fucking KOs in a row or something, and I was just feeling, I was finally able to use my power proper. Um, I'm gonna think the same, this time but it's different. I've got my right hand, my right hand's 100%, and and I'm not thinking that far ahead. If it goes all the way, am I going to get robbed by the judges? I think I'm going to win early, and if I don't, I'm going to win the fight anyway. So.
How good does it sound when they say Matty Floyd from prison to knocking out Tommy Fury, to be in the first fight to defeat Tommy Fury, and this fight opens you to new opportunities and puts your name not only in the Australian boxing scene, UK, but the world boxing scene, and the world's your oyster.
That's amazing, bro. That's you're giving me goosebumps, man.
And what's your message on the night when the fight happens and to your fans worldwide?
I fucking told you,
Ladies and gentlemen, Matty Floyd.
brother.
Thank you, brother.